Hello and welcome to Provoking Tech. I'm Zach, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a quick rundown of some of the deals that I found relating to 3D printing for Black Friday to Cyber Monday, and kind of talking about some of these deals. As new deals kind of pop up, I will kind of try to update those in the comments below. So I'll probably end up doing a pinned comment of all the new additions that have come up since I've made this video. But this should be a nice starting point if you're looking for a deal for Black Friday. So without further delay, let's go ahead and jump right to it. Alright, so to kick off this rundown, I wanted to talk about Lawsball and the deals that they're having for Black Friday / Cyber Monday. These deals will go from Friday, November 24th at 12 a.m. midnight Eastern Time to Tuesday, November 28th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. The printers themselves are 20% off, which is a very good discount. It brings the TAS 6 from $2,500 down to $2,000 and the Mini down to $1,000. Another good thing with this deal is they're actually selling their tool heads that I have as options with 15% off. And that's a big reason why I haven't looked too heavily at the TAS 6 personally, because I have been looking for a printer with a bigger build volume, because I am somewhat restricted by the build volume with the FlashForge Creator Pro behind me. And the TAS 6, in addition to being very costly, also doesn't come with a dual extruder head, but you can get the add-on, but it's quite costly too at $500. So with the sales going on right now, if you do want a TAS 6 with a dual extruder head, you can essentially think of it as getting a dual extruder head free once you take into account all the discounts that you're getting. And the final thing I wanted to showcase on the Lawsball website is their Filament. They have up to 75% off, which is quite impressive. The biggest discounts are on the PLA by eSun, and there's also HIPS by eSun up here too that I saw that was very heavily discounted. eSun isn't the greatest PLA that I've ever used. I have used a couple different rolls of Filament by eSun. And like I said, it's not the greatest. Don't expect the highest quality. And if you're doing prototypes that have high tolerances, this isn't the best filament. But for general household prints, general purpose prints that don't need to be super high detail, and also as support material, I haven't had any issues with eSun for those use cases. In addition, some of the cool exotic materials such as the lay wood, which is a wood composite, or lay brick, which is kind of like a sandstone type composite, as well as nylon. Both of those are all heavily discounted at like 50% off. So some great options there. That is kind of like the second reason, or the supplementary reason why I haven't looked too heavily at the TAS, and that's because it uses 3mm filament, and most printers nowadays use 1.75. And as I hope to build my array of 3D printers, I don't want to stock up on different materials and different colors in both 1.75 and 3.0 millimeter filament. So just keep all that in mind. But the TAS 6 is a highly rated printer. So if you're in the market for a high-end machine for like rapid prototyping, or you just want to do higher detailed models for whatever reason, then the TAS 6 is definitely a great option, as well as the Mini. But the biggest reason I was personally looking at the TAS 6 is for the bigger build volume, because for like the build volume that you're going to get in the Mini and the smaller kind of mid-range machines that you're looking at from between like $700 to $1,200, I personally recommend the FlashForge Creator Pro in that kind of range. Moving on, and kind of the complete other side of the spectrum of 3D printing is the XYZ's DaVinci cell that they're having. These are some good entry-level machines. I went through, and I haven't actually personally used these, but I did do some pretty extensive research as I was kind of coming up with this video that I wanted to showcase. And a lot of these printers are rated anywhere from 3.5 to the mid 4s. So not the most highly rated machines. And I do highly recommend looking at some videos and reading some articles that people have done. There's lots of good resources of people out there reviewing. I might pick up some lower end machines, just review those in depth, because I do enjoy just like going through the printers and kind of looking at the flaws and the quirks and the benefits of all the different printers. So I might pick up some entry-level machines in the future to kind of dig deeper into. But there are tons of resources already out there. But the DaVinci definitely seems to be kind of one of the better printers out on the entry-level machines. And for the discounts that you're seeing here, their $500 machine is $200 off. So for $300, some very heavy discounts here. For the machines, and for $179 you can get into 3D printing. So if you yourself or the DaVinci Mini Maker is kind of more oriented to kids with all the primary colors, they do have some other printers like the $239 DaVinci Junior. So if you're kind of looking for an entry-level machine, or if you have a kid that wants to get into 3D printing, these are definitely good options as an entry-level machine. Just don't expect to have the highest quality prints from an entry-level machine. Just be aware of that. But I definitely did want to raise awareness of these printers because they are, good printers for the price, especially with the discount taken into account. They also have from SLA printers down here that are on sale, but I know absolutely nothing about these. So if you're interested in those, you're definitely going to have to do some more extensive research. And the discounts aren't quite as heavy. You have a $200 research on a $2,000 printer, where right here you have a $500 printer with the same 20% or $200 discount, so it's a much higher percentage discount. Finally, moving on to Airwolf. I haven't done a lot of research at all into Airwolf, so I can't personally kind of say they're a good printer or not. I haven't really found a lot of resources in general on the Airwolf printers. So you have the Axiom, you have a couple different variants. You have the dual, the single, and the Axiom E printers. Different amounts of discounts. These definitely seem to be high-end machines, but I can't really say much more beyond that. I have looked. They have like a drive that's supposedly supposed to have a very high resolution detail at very high speeds, but I can't really say if these are good printers or not. I just saw that they had a decent discount, so I did want to highlight it, especially when you take into account the price that they're asking for the printers. But like in general articles across the web and YouTube videos, I didn't find a lot of content that wasn't made by Airwolf. So from outside people kind of looking at it, I didn't find a lot of resources. So you definitely, if you are interested into this, you would have to look at this and try to find some good sources for more information. And finally, I wanted to talk about the Creality CR10. I saw this when I was doing research towards the end of making this video. It became available and it pretty much sold out very quickly. I know I refreshed once and it went from 70% to 100%, just when I was browsing different pages and just getting ready for this video. So it went very quickly. It was a very good discount. The Creality CR10s usually range from between, this one is $486, but they usually generally range from between $500 to $600 for this version. There is the extended version, which is more costly. But for $389, that was a great deal. And the Creality CR10 is another machine I'm looking at simply because it does also have a much bigger build volume. I think it's 12 by 12 by 15-ish. 11.8 by 11.8 by 15.8 inches. So it's a big build volume, which will kind of take into account that my FlashForge Creator Pro doesn't have a big build volume, but it also doesn't have dual extruders. But for a $500 machine, you can't ask for too much. You do see some other CR10. There's a CR10 Mini for $400. So the regular CR10 was actually cheaper than the Mini variant. And you can see down here the Plus is about $1,000 machine. So this is Amazon though. They're already sold out right now. But throughout Black Friday, they generally have a lot of deals that come and go. So I'll try to keep track of these in the comments below as they come and try to post those as quickly as possible. So if you're looking for those deals, I would just kind of keep an eye out on Amazon, because Amazon does end up with a lot of very good deals. But unlike the deals straight from the manufacturers, they're not available for an extended period of time. You kind of have to catch them as they come up. So that pretty much finishes up the 3D printer portion of this video. And now I want to talk specifically about filaments. I've already mentioned the Lawsball filaments, but moving on to Proto Pasta. Proto Pasta has some very cool filaments. They have some cool composite PLA filaments that I've used. I've used their composite PLA stainless steel, and as well as their conductive PLA composite. Both of those are pretty good. The stainless composite is very abrasive though. I actually had to change my nozzle after using it. I had used that nozzle for quite a while, but the stainless steel was much more abrasive than the PLA I normally used. They do sell like wear resistant nozzles too, but essentially your discount is based upon how much you spend. And Proto Pasta does make some great filaments that I can say are good. I haven't used their more kind of standard PLAs or anything like that, but they do make generally good filaments from my experience. Moving on, Taipei Machines. I haven't used their filaments before, but I did see that they had some deals for Black Friday. All their filaments and accessories here that you see on this page are 20% off, and they have some cool different composites too. Most of the time I usually buy a Hatchbox unless I'm getting a composite, because Hatchbox doesn't have a lot of composites. So you can see they have a conductive PLA here too. They have an option. They also have a wood fill option. They have a magnetic option. They have a copper fill, a bronze fill. Some very interesting different composites that you can use for your 3D printers. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, where like dual extruders are very cool, because you couldn't not only have access to like support material that can dissolve with a dual extruder head, but you can also like embed conductive material or magnetic material inside of your 3D prints to have some very cool functionality to your prints. So that's pretty much it for on the filament side. And now I'm going to move on to two more things that are kind of related to 3D printing, but not necessarily directly filaments or 3D printers. All right, so for the final segment of this video, I'm going to talk about 3D printing accessories and services. The first of which is the polisher. The polisher essentially releases a vapor with that reacts with their custom PLA composite, and essentially it's kind of like acetone and ABS, but the PLA version of that, I guess. It'll make the PLA composite very slowly run, so that it'll kind of smooth the layer heights. Because if you've done a lot of 3D printing, you know with 3D prints, and I don't know if this will actually focus or not, but you can see the different layers. When you use a smaller nozzle, it's less visible than like bigger nozzles, but you can, if you look close enough, easily see the individual layers, as they're not perfectly smooth. A lot of times you can take sandpaper and sand that, and possibly use like a filler, like a spray paint that you can use that to build it up and then sand again, and maybe you might have to do that a couple times depending on the quality of your print. This will essentially do the same thing, but it's great for more complex shapes. Like you can see this figure here, that would be a nightmare to sand. So you can do the same thing, and if that is your use case for a printer, if you're trying to make high detail models to showcase, then this could be a good product for you. And essentially by buying this, you get 2 free rolls of their custom PLA, which will end up saving you some money in the long run. The final deal that I want to talk about is Sculpt. I haven't used their services before, but I have used similar services. So with their service, with a $150 purchase, you get 25% off. And they do both 3D printing as well as laser cutting services. So you can 3D print in a lot of different materials, including like stainless steel and different metals. And also laser cut. You can laser cut metals, like different acrylics, cardboard, different types of wood. So a lot of cool different services that they offer. If you have a project coming up that you need 3D printed and don't have a 3D printer, or have something you want laser cut, you can save a bunch of money by getting 25% off of an order of $150 or more. Alright, so that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. I hope you found it useful. Hopefully it'll save you some money if you're in the market for filament, a full 3D printer, or just going to need to get something 3D printed or laser cut. And if it was helpful, give it a big like, and also consider subscribing to Thought Provoking Tech. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, Zach out.